Good morning, everybody. Okay, so just been doing a bit of a check-in with a client of mine who's currently on a progressive overload training structure. So this structure basically means that he has to beat previous week's scores on a heavy set and a lighter set across a number of different moves. So it could be, for instance, that on his push day, he has a bench press, a heavy set where he may push 100 kilos, and then his lighter set may be 80 kilos. And his goal is to progress those across the board on every movement each session, each time he comes back to the same specific session. Now, his question to me today was, what if he manipulates his rest period? So for instance, he may hit 100 kilos for 10 repetitions, and if he rests 3 minutes, he may drop down to 80 and get it for 10. However, if he rests 6 minutes or 7 minutes, he may be able to use 90 kilos for the same number of reps. And his question to me was, which method is better on a progressive overload training structure? And the reality is both are effective, but we need to decide at the start of the protocol how we're going to approach the rest protocol. And this is because each style of rest will have attached to it a different stressor, a different precursor to muscle adaptation. Now, as I'm sure you know, and if not, you'll learn this now, there are 3 primary precursors to muscle growth. We have metabolic stress, which is where we accumulate metabolites in the muscle, and that's typically associated with short rest periods. That's like your burn style training. We have eccentric stress, which is where we actually stretch the muscle and focus on most muscle damage. And then we have a mechanical tension precursor to muscle growth, where we focus on pushing the most weight and expose the muscle to the most tension. Now, as you can imagine, right, if this chap, his name is Wilson, if Wilson were to rest 3 minutes, there would still be some resynthesis of energy to occur. It doesn't happen in 3 minutes. It takes more like 7 or 8 minutes for full resynthesis to occur. And so, if he rests three minutes only, he's going to be compromised. He's not going to be able to lift as much weight in his second set, but equally, there's going to be more metabolic stress. So you have to decide your rest periods depending on what bias you want to place towards in terms of precursors to muscle growth. Okay, if your bias wants to be towards metabolic stress, i.e. accumulating more metabolites in the muscle, then a short rest period will work just fine, even if you're not lifting as much weight. Conversely, if you decide to go for a 6 or 7 minute rest between your 2 max effort sets, you will not have as much of a metabolic stress stimulus, but what you can ensure is a greater mechanical load stimulus. Now, both actually aid muscle growth. So the key is consistency. And the way you decide is, what are my time constraints? How much time do I want to spend in the gym? Do I enjoy training heavy? Am I in a position where my joints can handle training this heavy? And that should determine where you set your standard. Now, if you have lots of time and your joints are in good nick, you're feeling healthy, you're feeling strong, then a longer rest period between those 2 max effort sets, the top set and the back off set, that will benefit you, okay? You will enjoy that. You're not going to have to be rushed out of the gym. You can benefit from that environment where you're able to push more weight. However, if you have time constraints, if your joints are a bit sore, then I would suggest taking a shorter rest period, standardizing that rest period, and operating with a stronger bias towards metabolic stress. So, what are the go-home points here? If you are asked to progress set 1, which is heavy, and set 2, which is light, if you have good health and lots of time, I would use a longer rest period to focus on a mechanical load stimulus to build muscle. If you are time constrained and or you have a lot of muscle or joint soreness, in that case, I would use a shorter standardized rest period and allow yourself to have a greater bias towards metabolic stress. Now, hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions though, and you are interested in learning more about how to build muscle or any precursors to ensuring muscle growth happens, then please just feel free to ping me a DM or comment below saying, build muscle in capital letters, and I'll be in touch. We can talk more about what you want to achieve. Anyway, have a great day, everybody, and we shall catch up soon. Cheers.